I'm Will Lennox from Channel 9, which is a free-to-air broadcaster based nationally in Australia, but specifically I'm based in Sydney. My job is to make sure we can get all vision, audio and ancillary data around the facility. So because we're an IP2110 facility, a lot of traditional devices still use SDI, so we have to be able to sort of bridge between SDI, 2110 and NDI. So we use the Bird Dog Studios and the Bird Dog Quad 4Ks to make sure that we can get SDI into NDI and vice versa, and that'll all go into our 2110 conversion devices. So to be able to get into software that's NDI based, the Quad 4Ks are definitely the go-to devices for us within the NDI environment. In the city, in North Sydney specifically, you have very specific ratings that are required for anything on the roof. In our tower, our mounting for wind speeds and weather, IP67 rated, the Bird Dog A300 met those requirements. We also had a requirement for redundancy, so we have the SDI as well as the NDI out, in which we have a PoE injector that goes into the switch. If we ever lose any of that networking infrastructure, we have the SDI going into a fiber converter, which goes all the way down into the data center, so we can make sure we're always getting that footage if required. That footage is also recorded 24/7, 365 into one of our EVSs. So if anything ever happens, we can make sure we can shuttle through that, and that's available to us. The wide shot of Sydney Harbour is probably the most important for us and for news downstairs. They use that in the backdrop of the 1600 news. It's also used for car accidents on the bridge, any events that happen in the harbour that we can zoom in on. The great zoom that the camera has allows us to get pretty good shots of any accidents or events like that at the Opera House or anywhere along the harbour there. Back to weather, we also look at the sort of rolling storms that can come in from out east in the ocean or from the west over the hills. We get awesome weather shots coming in from that, and they love the time-lapse shots, and they use those in combination with storm footage. They get some pretty cool shots. Being able to access all the devices within the same network and just select source and destinations is one of the main attractions for us. We can push that back onto our producers and our operators in small control rooms and controlled environments, and it just makes it a lot easier.
Well, it is that time again, everybody. Hope you are doing well. My name is Bird Dog John, and I am back in action.
In those scenarios, it's good to neuralize the cameras. You guys know that best.
Very straightforward. Plug it in, go to the web UI, link the source, walk away. You know, like super simple. I keep looking over at the chat, and I keep seeing you are full of it. Tasty, spicy meat snacks. Covered in flavor. I mean, you can't go wrong. So what's going on? We've got a handful of folks here in the chat, and I really appreciate that. What's up, mate? Hey, Warren, how are you? Appreciate it. Hey, Robbie, how's it going, man? We were just talking about you. What's going on, Tom? Ahoy. How is it going? What's going on, Go Web? Good to see you again. Thanks for hanging out with us again today. Appreciate that. Feel like I'm in this video more than anyone but John. It's true, NetApp. You are, I'm going to cut this up and put this in the next intro.
What's happening, everybody? I am indeed Bird Dog John, and today's kind of a special episode. I'll explain why in a minute, but I'm not using the RE20. I've removed it. Let me see how this sounds, first of all, because all right, you guys let me know how it sounds, because I have to use the NTG2 which seems so weird to be exposed on this level. But so I'm using the NTG2 today because I took the RE20 away for the weekend and was doing some recording with it, which was really cool. And audio is super quiet. You sound kind of distant, like like figuratively, or all right, hang on. Let me see if I can fix some of this here, because I am kind of like the microphone is right here, like right off screen. I could move it into the frame, but I don't want to do that. But if I sound distant, let me listen to it actually. Let me see if this is a you problem. Emotion. All right. I do sound distant. You're right. Okay, so let's try and adjust this so that I just don't want you to pick up all the ambient sound, right? Let's try and adjust this so that there's a good chance that I just don't want you to pick up all the ambient stupid sound, right? Hang on one second. Let me see. There's a good chance that let me see if stupid. That's not too bad. Hang on one second. There's a good chance that let me see if whoa. Oh, stupid. That's not too bad. Hang on one second. You guys can hear my headphones. It's not too bad. Hang on one second. You guys can hear my headphones. That you guys can hear my headphones. What on earth? This was the problem we had the other day with Jake, right? All right, hang on. So yeah, the microphone is not front and center, and I could move it. Just trying to keep it out of the way of Isaiah. So, in other news, my son is here in the studio with me. He's 5, and the way it played out was that he needed to stay home today because he drank way too much water and was sick to his stomach. Well, they have a rule at the preschool that for any reason, if he has any issues, then he has to stay home. Well, it wasn't really an option today. So he's with me in the studio watching an iPad. So let's see. Okay. Let's scroll through. Oh, so you might hear him every now and then. There's a good chance he's not going to sit for an hour. Yeah, there's a good chance of that. So what I find odd here. All right, I've got everything set the same for both of my microphones that I use, so the RE20 and the NTG2. I've got power going to both. It might be this cable. Like, if I could get all up on this thing, then it would be super clear, right? Because when I face it, you guys can hear it, no problem. But when I move away from it, it seems to have some struggles. What if I turn it? Or let's just try and reposition it. I mean, we could do that too. But I do want to mess around with SIL2. I know that that's what the title says, and so let's plan on doing that at some point. So that is the plan. So if you're here for that, I'm not doing like some bait and switch on you, but I am definitely having to figure out this microphone business, and it's really annoying. Maybe I could put it like, Let me think about that. Just give me a second. I'm also looking at one of the newer beta firmwares for the P200. There it is right there. Okay, cool. All right, so I think this is going to work, but we're going to find out. Okay, back to the show. Now, let's fix the audio. So I could bring this forward. Just give me a second. I'm going to mute this so that you don't hear me fumbling about. Let me make sure that that works. Okay, so this is the RE20. Perfect! Now I can hide behind a microphone. Done and done. This is exactly what I'm going for. Let's hear what it sounds like on the stream. Done and done. Oh, that sounds beautiful. All right, so as long as you guys are good, I'm good. And this will be great. All right, let's give this a go. Let's see if this is any better. I'm gonna watch it on my phone. All right, let's give this a go. Let's see if this is any better. It's clipping, actually. That's crazy. And now I will watch it on the YouTubes, just to see how that goes. If that P200 though, I will watch it on the YouTubes. Okay, just to see how that goes. If that P200 that sounds all right on the YouTubes. Okay, just to see how that goes. If that P200 that sounds all right on the YouTube. But there's a massive loop, right? Is there a massive loop? Are you guys hearing me like over and over and over and over, or just once? It's so hard to monitor your own audio because you don't even know what you guys. If you're hearing the headphones, I'll get rid of the headphones, but you shouldn't be. If you're hearing the headphones, I'll get rid of the headphones. No, okay, that sounds clean. So I'm gonna go with that, and hopefully, okay. So now let's go back to the chat and see. Like I've been following, but let's just go here. Hey, what's going on, Stockholm? How's it going? Thanks for stopping by and giving me some live feedback here. I appreciate that. Okay, so yeah, it sounds low, very low in the volume. Emotionally distant. Net half. You sound kind of distant. You're super quiet. What's going on, Brayton? Good morning. No one here but us 5 chickens. Let's sit. So are you logged on to all 5 platforms and it's just you here? That seems about right. John, you just have to be in the moment. It's true. Hey, now it's way better. It's getting better. I can hear John live, then John on delay repeating everything. Is that what it's supposed to be in your head? I can definitely hear your headphones. I think your headphone issue is now resolved. It sounds fine, honestly. Mike looks great on camera. The detail is incredible. It's true. This little dead cat that's on the RE. So I did buy the NTG2 dead cat so I could do stuff outside with it. And apologies to Pandorica for saying the words dead cat, but that is kind of what it's called in the field. But anyways, it's super fuzzy and it's great. It works really well in low wind. If I wanted a high wind situation, I would need to get a blimp. So, and those things are just as expensive as the microphone. So, I'm gonna have to make it to big time if I'm, the show will have to turn over some revenue if I'm gonna afford to buy a blimp. So we'll see. And there is my son. Give me a second. Yes, this is going to be a show of 2 people, by the way. So Isaiah is here, my son. He's off camera, and he's behind the monitor. He's watching a show. But every about 10 minutes, he forgets that he's in a room where I've told him to be quiet. And so, yeah, you're going to hear him laughing at his show every now and then. That's just a consequence of... It's free, with the charge of admission today. It's a bonus feature of the show. So you didn't know you were going to get that, but... I can hear you. Hey, what's going on live on iPhone? Good to see you again. Over and over now. I don't hear a loop. Thanks, Albert. Hey, what's going on from Warsaw, Poland, iPhone? But now I'm not hearing it. I don't even know what's happening. What's going on, Pandorica? So I had my phone on, and it was playing sound. But then I had... there was probably a loop on the computer or something like that was causing that issue. But anyway, I think we're resolved. I think we're done with the microphone stuff. It sounds okay. It might have been because... Oh. So I added a desktop function here. Did I also add a bird? Oh, I know what it is. Okay, so when I play audio on the Mac, it's feeding now into the show because I'm using channel 3 and channel 4 is plugged into the Mac. So it is not anymore. All right, mystery solved. Good golly, man. John, what is this? Your first day on stream? Or did you just run in here a few minutes ago? Did you just run in here a few minutes ago and turn everything on because you're with your son today? Spontaneous laugh track. I'm here for it. Yeah, that's going to happen today, guys. Hopefully, shout him out when you hear him laughing. Go ahead and, it's great weather here in Poland. Ooh, weather update from here in Auburn Hills. It is a gorgeous day over in Auburn Hills outside right now. She's a beaut. This is a PF-120 that is showing on the road outside, and several Blazers are owned in this office, but also that F-150 is mine. So there we go. It's a real deal. We're real people. We work at a real place in a real office, and we're not just doing everything in our garages or third bedrooms. So it's a real deal. What's going on, iPhone? Okay. So I have got my hands on it. Can you hear me if I do this? See, I got to do something with this space. My RE20 microphone is usually in front, and I don't like the fact that I am exposed like this. And I've zoomed in a little bit. I guess I don't need to be this zoomed in. I zoomed in because the microphone was right here on the side. But now let's see what I can get away with now that the microphone is above me. And I wonder if I do this little oh, that's loose. Lame. Okay, if I do this little number and move it a little bit away, but then point it more like at my mouth, hopefully that will also reject Isaiah's giggling in the background. Let's see how far back I can. Oh, hey, that's pretty good actually. That's what it normally is on this show. So give a little more context as to. Boom. Okay, that's way better. Now the only other thing that I've got here is the P200, and I just did an update on the P200, so I'll throw that over here. It's all jacked up now, like the coloration's all messed up. So if we cut to the 200 and go to that shot, so now I'm controlling it. I don't even know what to do because he's over there. He can't see me. So even though I talk to him, he's wearing headphones. So he's just in the background giggling. It's hilarious. So now you can kind of see this rig. Unfortunately, it stands right in the way of my... I need to put that camera somewhere else. I wonder if I could put it on the ledge, I guess. But then, well, no. All right, let's see if I can try to build a little platform for it. So we'll go to a quick little commercial about what's going to give me a couple of seconds here. All right, I'm going to go to a 1-minute commercial about Fleet Manager, and then I'll be right back. Okay, there's going to be no stopping my son from like giggling at his TV show. I should have thought that through a little more, but I attempted to tell him to be quiet here during that little 1-minute break, and that did nothing. So cool, son, cool. Thanks for coming along to take your kid to work day. I really appreciate that. All right, so let's check out the let's see if this 200 position is going to work a little better. Whoa. Well, you can see me now, but it's definitely behind the monitors. Ooh, I look jaundiced in this shot. So here's that 200 update. It's my TV or my little computer screen that's here. It's just not high enough. It needs to be up a little bit more. But you know, there's the context of the show. So let's go ahead and alter this shot because it looks terrible. And we're going to go over to the cam control menu. Now, how can I show this to you? I don't think I can. Not on this screen, at least. All right, let's do this on the other computer. Oh, whoops. Bring up StreamYard again. Okay. So here is how we're going to do this. I'm going to open up that P200 on this tab, Studio P200, and I'm going to put it halfway through, and I'm going to show Studio Monitor on the other side. So, birddog-studio P200.local/. There it is. Okay, so now I can share this on vMix. Oh, my kid is so funny. He's just having a blast watching this show. All right, so here we go. Let's make sure that this is on. All right, so we've got our. This is our P200 on Studio Monitor. I'm up here on the 400, which is our baseline for what I want this shot to look like. And then I've got the I've got the web UI open next to it. So I'm just gonna turn this on and close this screen, and now we should be good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna close that down. Back to this screen. Okay, so we got to go into cam control, and of course, when you restart a camera, you're gonna have to log into it. Now, for those of you who are keeping score, I did ask last night to one of the guys over in Melbourne what the plan was with Fleet Manager. Is Fleet Manager going to come out, and is it going to be able to update to the latest firmware as is, or are we going to have to update our devices so that they're compatible with Fleet Manager? He actually didn't know. I quizzed him on it because people are going to want to know that, right? But he said, that's a great question. I don't actually know what the plan is with that, but he's like, I'll try and find out. So he's going to investigate that a little bit for us and hopefully get back to us when he can, which would be great because, whoa, man, I look very, very sick in this. Whoa, whoa, this is extreme is what this is. My goodness. Okay, so no. Okay, we're close here. It's way too blue. I wish you could. I wish they would enable the. Oh, and I'm overexposed still. So our gain limit is set to 7 right now. What am I shooting? 60. Okay, so bring this down slightly. Ooh, that's not too bad. It's a little crunchy though. Where is this? Oh, that's why. Oh, there. Oh. Man, I love the P200. Such an easy camera to work with. Bring down the contrast a little bit so you can kind of get some context. We're getting there. I like that shot. I like that color. It's a little red for me, but it's getting there. It's pretty close. So let's go back to white balance and let's just pull this back slightly. Whoa, too green. What are we at? 203. This slider. I think my only recommendation would be that I want this slider to be longer across the screen, or be able to use the third wheel, the click wheel on a mouse to dial it by 1. You know what I mean? So that I think that looks pretty good actually. Check this out. I mean, that's not bad for repositioning it and everything. I think that looks pretty good compared to the P4K, which has all sorts of ability, by the way. It's easily outclasses the P200, but that image is pretty good. It might still be actually a little overexposed. Let's have a little look-see, because I did move its position. Yeah. Let's see what we can do with that. Whoa. Let's see if we can manipulate that. Oh, whoops! I didn't mean to change the shutter speed. Come on, John, get your act together here. I thought that was the contrast. Sorry, it's kind of, that screen is kind of far away. So, no. Hmm. I mean, my skin tones look good, but I'm basically just a floating head. So let's go back to exposure and let's change this. If we go down here but come up here, back to 7 or back to 10, and then let's dial back the iris and see what happens here. Okay. My skin tone is still kind of blowing out though, eh? So one more dial. Let's just see. Again, I disappear though into the abyss. I want 2.8 on that, and let's go to 7. Yeah, it's kind of like right in between there, somewhere 7 and 10. I guess I'll live with 10 as kind of a backup shot. It's a shame. I mean, I could get the camera up a little bit higher, and then that would kind of like then you'd be able to see the green on my shirt over here, and it would provide some whatever. When you're like black hat, black background, black shirt, some colored lights, you know, it is what it is, I guess. So we'll deal with it. But let's go with that for now, and I will turn on the playlist because that's where it's at. That's how we do this. So playlist on. And back to the chat. Spontaneous laugh track. It will happen, I promise you. You wear blazers in the office? You fancy. Yes. We're no joke around here, man. We class it up. I think John would break out in highs if he had to wear a blazer to work. I'm not that informal, am I? I mean, I wear sweaters, but it's just because it's the only swag that I have. Sure, you are not using the computer mic on the StreamYard machine? Am I sure? I hope not. Let's find out. If I listen to this. Yard machine? Am I sure? No, it's not. That StreamYard machine doesn't have a microphone. I mean, it might have an onboard mic, but it's 100% this one. For sure. I wonder how close can I get now? There it is, right? Are you seeing that in the shot in terms of... No. Okay. So that's a little closer. The closer you can get, the better, right? So what's going on, Lewis? Hi, John. I have a small problem with the SDI connector on my P200 at an event. Is it possible to purchase the connector as a spare part? Like to melt it off and to put a new one on? I mean, I don't have a part number for you if that's what you mean, but I have known of some shops that have done that for sure. So, but I don't have a part number because we don't actually do component level here at this office. That's a factory level thing, so we don't have those numbers. See, now that shot looks too contrasty. Let's go back to picture and let's dial it down a little bit. Go back. Yeah. I guess I could zoom in a bit too, right? Like I don't have to have quite that much exposed, but okay, well that's all right, I guess. Well, I'm not thrilled with that shot, but it is what it is. So, good morning, John. What's going on, MTash? Your son's laughter is not at all a bother. Oh, that's good. I'm glad. And like I said, it's a freebie today, folks. It is what it is. Hey, what happened with Pod? I bought it several weeks ago, 8 weeks, and they did not arrive. They haven't even left the factory yet. So they haven't launched. That's a when you pre-purchase something, that's what it means. That when it launches, you'll be a part of the first shipment. But I don't know when that first shipment's going to be. So that is what that is. And that's why you haven't gotten it. But that's what's going on with Pod. Unfortunately, we are all waiting with bated breath for that launch because there's a lot of integrators that are waiting to have that basically. And I always hesitate when I talk to somebody and they are speccing out an installation with a product that isn't real yet, like that isn't in the market and available on the shelves for purchase. It's real. Pod is a thing, but it hasn't been officially launched. And so I always hesitate when people are speccing out projects for them and they're putting in projected devices into their installations. I get nervous with that stuff just because snags happen, man. Like the breakdown, for example, of the chip manufacturing problem that we saw for 2 years from 2020 all the way to 2022, basically where you couldn't buy silicone chips. Nobody foresaw that coming, and so it stopped everything. It stopped cars from being made. It stopped cameras from being made. All those sorts of things. So that's a challenge. That's for sure. Is there a manual to activate auto tracking and a way to configure it correctly? Sometimes the camera follows long and does not return to any position. So I assume you're talking about Cam Control, which is our auto tracking software that integrates with our cameras so that you can, auto track on specific cameras. So Cam Control, it's kind of it's an interesting product, mostly because like all tracking software, you basically need one person in the frame, and for the most part they need to know that they're being tracked so that their behaviors work correctly. Like I've noticed if you have somebody on stage and he turns around, like I had a minister one time who turned around and like saw his back and the back of his head, and the Cam Control was like, wait, I just lost the facial recognition, like where did he go? So yeah, that's a real thing. The full body tracking, that works pretty well, but again, you need to have a full body shot and really to capitalize on that AI function. And also that person needs to move kind of predictably. I don't think it does great with when you're trying to fake it out. You can definitely make it lose track, especially if you're moving quickly. And there is some finesse when it comes to, now on this show I've done multiple reviews of Cam Control and what I find works best for casual walking and lecture style delivery of on stage talent. So if somebody is delivering a speech or a sermon or something like that, yeah, there are some kind of go-to settings that I used for that, because that's where I've used it in a live situation to kind of become familiar with it. But your situation may vary, where you may not, your situation won't be like mine. So if that's the case, then it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to tell you what numbers to set, because it's not going to work for you. Not that way. You'll have to adjust it individually. So there isn't really a manual, because it's one of those subjective, like, how do you want it to work? But there are some things in Cam Control that I wish were a little bit clearer, and I can talk about that briefly. If I open Cam Control, let me see. Hopefully it doesn't crash my system here on you. Whoa, my P200 just slowed way down. Way down. So let's not go to that shot. And let's see if I can get Cam Control. Oh, you know why? Because I got all this P200 stuff. Chrome is open. Okay, so let's just take a quick gander at the Studio P200 and we can talk about Cam Control inside there. So I'm going to pull up. All right, so my face is on top of the video, so I'm going to remove my face real quick. And all you do in vMix to do that is go to Layers and boop, take your face off of there, and then we can close that down. Okay, so you can still see me here over on the P200. And when we go to tracking, so I better use the proper screen here. So we're going to turn tracking on. It's going to give us a bunch of options. And now I just redid, by the way, the firmware on this thing, so I don't know if they've made sure Cam Control is working with the latest beta on this. I don't know. It does not actually appear to be working on the latest beta. because if I go to face, is it actually going to give me a box? No. All right, let me run this again and see. Maybe I just did this wrong. Come on now, close down. Okay, let's try this one more time. Open up. We'll cut over to me for a second because it's kind of boring just looking at a Windows screen. I'm talking to you, Windows. Okay, here we go. So let's go back. And I guess I could just use the P4K for this. I don't necessarily need to use, but nah, it's going to jack up the positioning and everything. So let's load a couple of cameras in here because why not? Because I can. And if I turn on, if it doesn't work, then I'll have to use the P4K, but there it is. Okay, so auto tracking is now turned on, and it's kind of far away, but it's figuring out where I am, and I'm certainly not looking at the camera. There she goes. Oh, this is new. I have never seen this happen before. Is it searching? Certainly not. Whoa, this is bizarre. What was that? Now, keep in mind, folks, I'm running a beta, okay? So let's not go crazy. But let's open up this and try and get her back to home row. Hey, there I am. So let's see if tracking will pick me up again. Go back to cam control. Hey, there I am. So what's going on though? Why are you just wandering about? That seems odd to me. That I'm fairly well lit, right? Like you can see me. I shouldn't have to specify too much here. What's going on? It should be able to notice me talking. Where? Boy, this is a sad state. So don't use an unpublished beta on cam control because apparently it has not been finessed yet. So when this launches, and this is a beta for the SIL2 stuff, by the way. Oh, and you know what? What version of cam control am I running? Also a valid question because it's been a while. 3041 is if Frank is here. Frank, is that the latest version of cam control? All right, so moment of truth. Is the P4K going to work or not? Face. Does it follow? Stop. I guess I could just control it from here. Camera controls. All right, come on back. What is going on here, folks? This is so hilarious. So Frank, he says no. That is not the latest. 3151. Wow. I am a little out of date. All right. So, we'll switch over to the P4K. And I'm going to close down cam control because I'm way out of date. I'm going to uninstall this program and do a fresh install. I will also need to pull up the yoink. I will need to pull up that file from, where is it here? Cam control. Oh, that says central. Whoops, don't delete that one. Cam control. There it is. All right, uninstall. Bob's your uncle. Log in. Uninstall. Dear Windows, why do you need to ask me 600 times to uninstall? No. Yes, uninstall. My goodness. All right. Hey, you guys didn't know that for the price of today's admission, you were going to get all this extra bonus features, all these bonus function. Oh, and Frank put the direct link right there in the chat. So let's grab that. Actually, I got to do it on this machine. So birdog.tv/camcontrol-installer. Here we go. Oh wait, I didn't need to do that. Here we go. Oh my word, it's 300 megs. So my apologies for if vMix starts to crash on us. But there we go. Hey there, Jahan. It's been a while. Or John. It's all good. I know you meant well, Michael. Hey, Lewis, as John said, we don't have a part number for that SDI connector to give you, as we don't replace individual board components, but rather replace entire main boards. If you are to outsource a component repair and open or repair the inside of the camera, that unfortunately does void the factory warranty, given that the unit, depending on when you purchase the unit. That is true. FYI, don't void the warranty if you want to keep the warranty. They threw the camera at me and broke the SDI camera and the lens protector. The problem that is in Spain, it means at least 40 days. Oh my word. Yeah. Motion tracking. And you should use one PC for max, up to 2 P200s. There's a strange thing happening when you try 3 or more cameras by controlling via one computer. This is exactly what happened in my setup. 5 P200s, and they all started searching for faces. Yes, and David says, yes, this is the problem. So, well, let's see if the new one does it, because that would be fascinating to me if the latest and greatest... Oh, WinRAR. I hope somebody donates to you one day. Extract. So, yoink. And yoink. Close this down. Okay, that's been uninstalled now. Wait, whoops. Yes to all. Alright, very good. Now, downloads. Bird Dog. Cam control. Bob's your uncle. Loop deck controls. Alright, 3151. That's the one that we're going for. That's the one. All right. Here we go. Hopefully, I'm doing this on the same computer that vMix is running on, so real sorry if I all of a sudden freeze up and crash. That is not my plan. Let's close this, close this, close this. Relieve Chrome. Oh my goodness. What is going on? What? My start menu just disappeared. This is promising. Very promising. Yeah. Okay, my menu just came back, but it didn't install. The computer did not install the program. So, multi-viewer cloud, Bird Dog, is it in here? Oh my word. I clicked through the screens, but it never installed it. That's cool. Let's try one more time. Let's try one more time. Something's up with my... Something's up with my computer. I do accept. Next, 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 next. In the meantime, if Lewis is in Spain, Holden can repair his camera for a fee with our trusted certified repair service partners. Yes, I think his only complaint was that it basically means that it's got to be gone for 40 days when he just needs that one component. I wish it was modular, man. I wish I could send you the part and just be like, here, it's $5, you know. But I don't have a part. I don't have a price. We're not melting components off. So if you damage the SDI connector from a manufacturing standpoint, that's a board replacement. But it sucks that they just tossed the camera at you. So today's show was really supposed to be about SIL2, and I wanted to throw it out there. So this is the camera that we're going to use for that. But I wanted to throw it out there that we want to show some of that. And honestly, I'm discovering a lot of this for the first time myself as well. But that's the real, deal of this show is when things go great, it looks like I planned it. And when things go bad, at least I'm not faking it. So here is one of the latest betas for this camera they've been working on. And they update them quite often for a alpha and beta standpoint. This is one that I see why. This is one that one of my QA guys has been working on to try and get finished, trying to get everything buttoned up. And SIL2 is kind of the next thing. So he had actually asked me to test something on SIL2, which is why when I came in today, I thought this would be a good day to try this out, because then at least we can see what's going on. So back to cam control though, while we're here. So the auto tracking, let's take a look and see if, so like my face is pretty obvious right in the camera. That seems to be it's the only thing in the shot, quite frankly. So hopefully we, now this version of cam control is, 3151. So that's good. If I change the coordinates though, oh, you know what I didn't do though? I didn't open cam control correctly. I had it just auto open. Oh my goodness, it's 10 minutes to 12 already. I haven't even done SIL2 yet. My son is doing very well, by the way, sitting here minding his own beeswax. So good job, Isaiah. Okay, so here, let's try this again. And we'll put the 200 in number 1 and the P4K here, so that at least you can always see me on one camera. And if I turn this on, do we actually get a response from, oh, guy? It's a blue box. Oh, that's fun. It's a little harder to see. However, it is way better. Way better. If I oh yeah, this is rock solid. Hey, so if you're having trouble with your cam control stuff, be sure that you download the latest 3151. And the way you know you have the latest is the box changes from red to blue. I don't know why. Let's review. Here are the things that I wanted to mention to you, though, about cam control, because I feel like people are confused here. This gamma, I don't know why they call it that, should be called speed. This is the speed in which the camera moves, okay? So as you're moving around, that's going to be the speed. And we can crank that puppy up, and I think it latches on a lot faster in terms of moving. Maybe not. But the coordinates are really up to you in terms of how you like to frame a shot. Now, this far back, my face is in the middle of the frame. I don't mind this. But when I am on the P4K, this shot, my eyes are not like in the center of the frame. They're actually on if you're doing a 4x4 grid, they're actually on the top line of that 4x4 grid. And so I wouldn't want it to frame me, and like have all this space above my head. I would want it to frame it like this. And so you're going to use the X and Y coordinates to tell it where to go initially. And I can show you how this is done. Basically, it's telling the camera what middle should look like. So this shot, for example, I actually like to be like over here in this area. So I could use the X coordinator to do that, and I could say update, payload update, and there. Now I'm closer to where I want to be, right? So this is kind of the shot that I like to use, and it's following me along for that ride. But maybe I want to put myself a little bit higher in the shot, so I could pull it back, and now my head is closer to the top of the frame instead of right dead center. Now I actually like it kind of more center for this shot. So we're going to say update, and then I'm going to move around a little bit. Whoops, don't lose me. Don't lose me. Oh, you got a little too excited there, cam control. Are you going to see me? Oh, now it's just like, oh no, I can't. Let's see if she comes back. No, she's looking at the floor. Well, that was a good try, cam control, good try. Let me see if I can get you back on point. Hi. What's going on over there? You all right? If I say update, will it lock onto my face if it sees my face? I mean, I'm really well lit in this room, so it may need me to. My CPU is just singing right now, so that is likely the issue. Is that it's sending commands, but the CPU is overloaded. What can I close here? Let's close this. Let's close this. Disconnect and exit. Let's close down Studio Monitor for now. Let's close down my timing program. Yes, it's okay to quit. See if I can relieve some of the studio. It's looking at the blinds on the windows. She's struggling today to find me in the shot. Okay, so how are we doing here? All right, let's turn. Come on down. Did she show Isaiah at all? All right, there's my face. That's my face, man. I'm right here. I'm right here. I wish you could like wave to the camera and it would lock onto you. Okay. So now, as long as you're looking in that general direction, yeah, that's a Monty Python's sketch. As long as you're looking in that general direction, it seems to know, okay, that's where he's at. Okay, so now with the tracking stuff, so this is XY coordinates, however you want to frame your shot. That's what we're doing there. Now the question is the minimum error correction. So how far over in the frame does the subject have to get before she decides to move? And this by default is set to 0.1. I like this to be when somebody's on stage and walking, I don't like it to move as soon as they move. See how every time I cross center on this shot, she moves back and forth. I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this and start at 0.3, okay? 0.3 and do update. And now when I move, she doesn't move right away, okay? She doesn't follow me right away. I actually have to get over to the edge of the frame in order for her to readjust. And I like that better because then it means that I can shift my weight on my feet, or I can walk to the edge of the music stand or podium or whatever it is that I'm using, and the camera's not going to, move all the time. It's going to stick real close to this until I hit an extreme, and then it will start following me. All right, so that's the way I want that to run. Okay. Yeah, good times. All right, so let me turn this off. We should talk about Silicon 2 before the hour is up, and I need to keep today's show relatively succinct because I've got a 5-year-old who is doing excellent, by the way. You would never know that he's here other than the few giggles that I've heard. But he's doing a wonderful job of behaving himself, and gold star, he's probably going to get ice cream or something after the show for being such a good kid. And I'm going to make this a little shorter. Now, this is the P200. I'm running this on one of the latest Silicon 2 things. I want to show you, though, they heard my cries for a little more accessibility when it comes to this option, and they actually integrated it for me. And so, shout out to the engineers. You guys are stinking awesome. You listened to the concerns, and you actually implemented a couple of my suggestions, and so I love it. Thank you so much. All right, so we are going to go to Cam Control, and we're going to go to AV Setup, is actually where I want to go. Come on now. I may have logged me out, but we'll see. Okay, here we go. And here on the beta, you know that this is the option, right? So you click on here, encoding setting. This is your full NDI stream. Full NDI happens all the time on this camera, and you can't really turn that off. And what I'm going to do here, actually, is I'm going to open up a second one of these because I want you, in case we mess up something with the 200, I want you to continue to be able to see something. And so I'm going to put this one here. There we go. Hey, all right. This is cool now. I'm such a nerd. So the Silicon 2 update is right here on this screen. That's where it will be housed, at least at the initial launch. And that, if you download the beta, that's where that is. So there you go. That's the first place to start. Now, you can pick a few different options, all right? We can do, with HX3, you can do a variable bit rate, which means that you can turn it up or turn it down depending on what your network can handle. Quite frankly, though, I don't know if it really increases performance or lowers latency. I haven't seen it as a definitive, like, oh, that's why you would want that. But if you're going to be doing like SRT or something like that, HX2 would probably be sufficient. And if you're, especially with the X120, you probably want to use the lowest amount of bandwidth you can on a Wi-Fi system. And we're just exploring this now, by the way, because as I have been on this show for an age, saying just say no to Wi-Fi. Well, now it's a real deal, and we're going to have to integrate it in with NDI. The cool thing is that we are going to be working with a few companies, and I've been told I'm allowed to test my own stuff and come up with my own results, which is really great because that's what I really want to do. I want to prove that it works, and then I'll turn around to you on this show and say, hey, look, this is how it works, and it actually works. So that's the plan. So here we can tell it what we want it to do. So constant or variable bit rates. We can choose what version of the output we want. So if I want this to be SRT, if I want it to be HX, if I want it to be RTSP, RTMP, or turn it off, because you want to be able to turn this portion off and not have multiple things going out. But today's big deal is the NDI HX and the SRT options. And so we're going to say I want to enable NDI HX. Now on this camera then, we should be getting momentarily an actual HX signal, but we might need to actually restart the camera. So let's go ahead and restart the NDI chip, which is going to start, you've noticed that what am I doing there? Wiping my beard. So let's wait for this to come back. There I am. Hey, everybody. And now we're going to open this up. And oh, look, HX. HX is right here. Now, check out that. That is HX for sure. Hey, everybody. That's so funny. So HX is for sure a thing on this camera, but it is 100% HX and not whatever. Now, if we say variable bitrate, that means HX3, okay? So this is HX2 on constant. Variable bitrate would be HX3. And now we can turn it up to 11. So let's go, let's just go full tilt on all of this. Why not? Why not just push it to the max and see what happens, right? So we're going to restart our chip again. Whoops. And we're going to wait for that 200 to come back. And now the 200 is running an HX. Oh, whoa. Oh, that's weird. Ew, that looks terrible. I hate that, but it's probably because I've changed this to something that should not be. Yeah, should not be. So let's monkey around with this. I'm not too sure what's with the color on that. That does not look good. Let's restart that. Whoa. This is bizarre. And restart one more time. The other one that I actually really want to test is the SRT option, because we all know that that is a... Oh, that looks pretty good, actually. All right, so we're not like pulsing anymore. And this is also a proxy stream, if I'm not mistaken. So that I may not be doing us any favors by showing... Oh, no, it's not. It should be, but it's not. So if we move it to low bandwidth and then check the latency, yeah, it's a lot faster. But this is the HX3 output, and then constant is going to be your HX2. So I'm going to restart it now, go back to HX2. Now, the other one that I want to check out is SRT, because that one now... Ooh, is that low bandwidth? It's got to be low bandwidth, right? Video. Yes, low bandwidth. So now, check out that. Man, that's bizarre. Okay, so now if we are going to SRT, this is the one that I really interested in. And I need to restart. This is, you remember when we reviewed this the last time? This is what they did, okay? They put all of this stuff and the connection URL all here, and like everything together, all in one place. So now there's no more guesswork. When we reviewed this the last time, I complained to them and said, look, it's all well and good, but how do I know what the URL is? Like if I'm just a nobody, I'm not a BirdDog employee, how do I know where the URL is? And they were like, well, it's going to be, you know, obviously this, this, and this, and this. I was like, it's not obvious. So tell me what the URL is. Well, they answered my call, and here it is. When you set it up, you know, you set up to caller, listener, rendezvous, whatever you want to do. You can change the port number. All that information should now update in the URL. So we change it to caller. Look at that. Now it says mode listener. Amazing. Amazing. Love it. Seriously, this is going to make your life so much easier. It's going to make my life so much easier. The customer is going to benefit the most out of this. So I'm really excited that they listened to our suggestion that actually came out of this show. And now they're doing, they've got the SRT stuff in here. So I'm super happy to see that evolve. You know, it's really good. What's going on, GoWeb? Good to see you, man. Hopefully you're doing well. SRT is what I'm looking for after updating Silicon 2. So this is a beta, okay? I should preface this is that they sent this to me to test. This is the one that the QA guy is testing right now, and he has been having a lot of success with it, and he wanted me to double check the SRT stream. Now, we could do this. I don't know. I mean, this is why you come to the show, though, right? So inside VLC, we can open up a new player, and then I can close down. I need to close down the other player, this one, because it's currently playing music. Don't worry, I'll fire up the tunes before the show is over. But that one's playing music. So now we can say, join a network stream, right? And then this is the network URL. So we're going to do an actual SRT stream. So let's see if we're going to click on rendezvous. We need to put in the IP address of this camera, I'm assuming. Well, maybe not then. Maybe I will do caller. Why did it remove the IP address? It wasn't. Did I do that by accident? If I refresh this page, do you think it'll come back? No. Let's restart this chip and see what happens. Okay, if I disable and then turn it back on, does it come back? Certainly it doesn't remember that, right? Huh. Indeed, it does not. So the IP address is 1.81. All right, so back to AV setup. That's interesting. So 1.81 goes here, I believe. Port 799, encryption disabled for now. Latency 120. I don't want to change any of this unless I absolutely need to. And then copy. Now inside VLC, does it give me that option to tell it that it's a listener? I don't actually think you can. And if anybody knows, you can confirm I can confirm that SRT works. I used it last week on a show with a 5th backup camera. You're in caller mode. You have to put your VLC, you have to put in your computer's address. I see. My mistake, everybody, my mistake. So if I switch it to listener, will it put... Or do I need to... Okay, let's copy that. Let's try this again. Delete. Remove selected. Remove the selected. Network stream, paste, and play. Or do I still need to put in the IP address of the computer? Which is fine. I can get that. Um, 1.45. So let's do that. Let's go caller. 1.45. Copy. Clear. Network. Play. And what else did I forget? I could change this port number because I know 5556 is open. But it's internal, so it shouldn't be the end of the world, right? All right. Remove. Network. SRT caller. Passwords. Copy the URL. Copy the URL from the box. It looks right. Well, I don't have anything yet, but there is a good chance that what options do we have here? Nothing? Oh, because I have encryption turned off. That's why. Yoink. Oh, okay, cool. That's cool that they remove selected playlist. Okay, let's try network. And let me just go through here. Let me look at the... Hey, John, how stable is already the beta in Silicon 2? Do you already recommend to install, or for live events, better wait? HX3 is very tempting. A good solution for the auto track is that when it loses the person, it stays stationary. Better to stop than when it shows like crazy on the whole set. Yeah, I don't know why it searches like that. I can ask, but let's just say cam control is not slated for something happening early. Quantizer means lower quality the higher it is. That's not confusing. Hey, what's going on, Tom? Ahoy, John. Thanks for looking at our mini. Any idea what the issue is? It's definitely just software because the NDI stream is mute. I don't really want to send it back if I can avoid it. Yeah, so who did I speak with about this? One of the agents, probably Jess. And if it just randomly stops sending audio, I wonder if there's a bad solder or something, because if the other units are all working, then that makes sense why that is. But I can't, if you're not unmuted, if you're not muted on the mini and you've got the sliders turned all the way up, there's nothing really else to manipulate on that device. So I'm not really sure what else to recommend in terms of it working correctly for you. I just don't know. So, yeah, I don't know, man. That one's a tough one. All right, I'm going to copy this again. It's basically the same. Well, I believe that this works, but I'm pretty sure I've got something wrong. VLC does not want to show anything, although I do have 2 IP addresses on this machine, so that could be it. The other IP is like 248. So let's try 248. I like that when you fill in a box, it updates the URL. I think that's good. It's a good idea. New network stream, play. Listener mode is just easier to get working. All right, let's have a listener mode then. Let's change it. Try it out. Do listener port number. Maybe the latency needs to be longer. Whoa, that goes crazy fast. Copy that. Back to VLC media. Open network stream. Play. Yeah, so something's up with my machine. It might be my dual NIC cards that it doesn't like because it's got 2 IP addresses. My dual NICs, sorry, because I got 2 IP addresses. But I don't know. Does not want to connect in VLC. Oh, I guess the other option is we could open an input in vMix, right? So SRT stream in vMix. Remember we were trying all these? Let's get rid of those. That's garbage. Clear. So SRT caller. Oh, you know what? Host name, port number, stream ID. Oh, guy. So let's do this. Stream ID is 21. Is that right? Oh, I need to go back to caller. Yoo-hoo. Okay, so caller 5556. That's that. Stream ID. Okay, so latency needs to be set the same, 247. No passphrase. No decoder. Stream length 32. Stream ID 21. Oh, whoops. That's not right. It says SRT 5000. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just change it to 5000, see if that works. Oh, you know what? Do I have to restart the NDI chip? I probably needed to, didn't I? On all of those. Oh, that's annoying. I look funny. Yeah, that's annoying if I needed to. I probably needed to restart. That's why. Well, shoot. That's annoying. Well, now I want to try it. Hey, if you're going to stick around, we're going to give that another try. Because that would be advantageous to actually see this work. So let's remove selected, new media, network stream. It's not working in vMix, by the way. But we're going to do caller, yoink, yoink, yoink. And then let's see us light up. See if that works. All right, so let's remove this guy, this SRT stream that we just started. Add an input, SRT. We are caller there, so we will be listener here. Latency 247, which I could just change this now back, right, to like 120 or whatever it was out of the box. All right, 158. I don't know what the deal is there. Restart. Caller, latency 158. No passphrase, no delay. Stream ID 21. Let's clear this one. Oops. 158. Stream ID 21. Port number 5000. Okay. Should it be a different port number? Sorry, everybody. I got something. Whew. Something down the throat. Yikes. All right, well, not that it matters, but I could change this back to the original IP address. that is Ethernet 1. Man, that messed me up. And I will restart that chip just to be safe. It's easy to see when it comes back because that P200 is on right above me. There I am. And then do. So we'll go back into vMix. I'll say change. Go back to listener. I want to change this. It was like what? It was 7,200 when I did that last. 7,200. So, NetHab, you said you didn't have to restart it between every change, and latency doesn't matter too much. It will use whatever end is set higher. Interesting. Well, I added that SRT source, but it didn't even come up as an image. Just strange. Media network. Let's copy this over. Let's try this again in VLC just to see if I'm missing anything. I don't think so. But I have not been able to get SRT to work on this machine before, and so that doesn't surprise me too much. I do know that the HX stuff is working just fine, but the SRT stuff is struggling. And it seems to me like it's a me thing, not a product problem. So, well, that's fun. To answer the question, where was it? How stable is the beta? Some people are using it. I wouldn't, anything that's in beta, I wouldn't necessarily feel great about putting it into production unless you play around with it and you're thinking, yeah, this will be good enough for what we need. But the question being, should we use this in our production or not? Sorry, should I use this in my production or not? I don't really know what to tell you there because that's kind of a personal choice at a beta level. Once it comes out to public, an actual public launch, then you should have confidence in the product. But right now it needs to be more of a subjective personal choice because it still is a beta and they're working on finalizing it. So there you go. I already read this. Sorry. So copy the URL from the box. That looks right. The audio stopping is just the NDI audio setting going to mute every 2 or 3 hours by itself. It's not actually a hardware issue. You just turn NDI audio to mute and then active again. Yeah, unless there's like an API command or something that's being sent that's doing that, nothing should, like the unit itself should not be doing that on its own. So it doesn't seem like that's, that's not something that it just does on its own. That's strange. But Silicon 2 beta 1 week ago, I found the HX stream was glitchy. The video link will probably get filtered by YouTube. Yeah, probably. Well, that's okay. I didn't have to restart between changes. Latency doesn't matter. I use SRT as the 5th camera. I wasn't super worried about it. Trying to use that connection URL below. Try using that connection URL below. I need to go over to YouTube, I guess, to see that. Yoink. Do. All right. Is this show still sounds all right? Don't worry, everybody. I will bring my big intrusive microphone back. But as long as it sounds good today, that's what matters. And I really appreciate you guys hanging around. It's kind of fun to figure out what's going on here with the latest update for SIL2. There's, the big ones right now. They're working on RTSP, RTMP, but the big ones is SRT and HX. When you switch it to HX, you're given a variable and a constant. As I understand it, this would be HX2 as constant, and then variable would just be variable. Hang on, let's wait for that to reload. Because that was interesting. Yeah, okay. So variable, you can really dial it in. With the constant one, this is HX3. These ones, medium, high, ultra, those are actually HX3 settings. I think low is HX2, but I will need to verify that with HQ that is indeed what's going on. So if we restart this P200, let's wait for me to come back. 3, 2, 1, there's P200, there's HX. And so it's just delayed, but I mean, there it is, and we're only running however many megs, right? Like, so what does it say we're doing? We're doing 3 megs on that stream. So yeah, hypothetically 3 megs should be easy peasy for for a Wi-Fi connection. That's for sure. And it's HX2, Go with me is the SIL2 encode dashboard, not a missing link. Oh, so yeah, that's what this is, right? This is the SIL2 encode right here. That's this screen. That's what I want. What did I miss? I missed something, sorry. I have an SRT server sat ready to ingest if you need to test. Well, I need to find it on my own computer first before I can send you anything, because I'm not convinced that it's actually spitting out to my network. But VLC doesn't see it, vMix doesn't see it, so I will just talk with my engineers and figure out how to get it integrated. For some reason, my computer is also recording. I wonder how long that's been going. vMix has been recording, so I'm not too sure how long that is. There you go. What was the other thing I was doing on here? I was doing one more thing, and now I can't remember. That's how it goes. Oh, Brayton dropped off snacks on stream today, and oh yeah, that P100 is going to have a wonky shot, isn't it? So we should totally do a quick snacks on stream and see what he's put in this what he's put in this mystery box. So yeah, let's definitely do that, because that sounds like a great idea, and then we'll wrap it up. So yeah, let's do it.
John's just making up stuff to start drama.
Look, I don't know.
Look at him.
Wish me luck, folks. It's my first Vegemite experience.
Final, this is like cheese flavor or something. It doesn't really look too appetizing. Good golly, this is something else, man.
Here's the thing about Pop Rocks, and I don't know if I'm the only one like this. Pop Rocks have always been a social experience for me.
I did not think that is what you were going to say. That's hilarious.
That is awful. Oh, God, that's so bad. Jeez. Holy smokes, man.
Oh, I guess my microphone was live that whole time. So it is indeed Snacks on Stream. Brayton has dropped off a mystery box, which is pretty exciting. So let's check that out and see what's in. Oh my gosh. He has given me caramel cold brew M&Ms. And it looks like they've been... somebody has partaken already. Probably the guys in the office. So, wait, is this a plastic bag? Oh no, it's paper. Wow, I just can't rip paper, evidently. So, okay, so those look amazing. They're all red. It's a story there. Who knows? Let's give these a try. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Was not expecting that out of an M&M. Interesting. Good, though. Yeah, that's good. If you like coffee, if you like caramel coffee and M&Ms, it's a good match, that's for sure. Wow, these are really good. I'm very impressed with that. I didn't even know these existed. These are caramel cold brew M&Ms, coffee flavor with other natural flavors. How many times? And this M&M on the bag is holding an iced coffee. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh yeah, okay. Tampered snacks. I taste more caramel than coffee. It's true. It's pretty strong on the caramel. That's for sure. I would agree with that. Man, he's just quiet as a mouse over there. I don't know what's up. I'm very impressed with that. I did not expect him to be sitting this long. It's been an hour and a half. Impressive, to say the least. Maybe the local firewall is messing with SRT. Very possible. I had put it on ports that I had allowed on my network, so I didn't think that would be an issue, but it is very, very possible that that's what's going on. Okay, so that's cool that this is now working. SIL2, and like I said before, they are refining. They're working on it a lot. You know, we don't tell people necessarily what it is that we're up to all the time. It's a good rule to have. But this SIL2 is developing along with NDI5, along with Fleet Manager. These are definitely being worked on because the SIL2 option gives cameras, the SIL2 option gives these cameras a lot more versatility. They're not just the full NDI, like Ferraris. But I mean, I'm running HX2 out of that camera, and it's barely using network, but I've still got that, bird dog coloration and everything. It doesn't look quite as nice as obviously the NDI, the full NDI option. And is this thing running on low latency? Which it doesn't really need to now, right? No, it's not. So, if we blow this up, it still has the detail, the coloration, still has the control, but it's using very little of the network. And so it's a beautiful thing to kind of have organized here. But that is the HX signal. Now, you're probably noticing that the audio is off, right? Because it should be. And it's not in sync with this one. You can see this camera. Here, let's do this number. Hey, hold the phone. Yoink and yoink. So I'm just gonna make these kind of compatible with each other. So P4K. This is P4K proxy. Let's tank the computer CPU power real quick, and put these both at full. Okay, so P4K is that camera, and P200 running an HX is over there. You can definitely see the delay if I wave my hands around, but the picture is still really nice. I'm actually quite happy with that, and I do love me some bird dog cameras. Just the lenses we've chosen to use, I think, are way nicer than the options in the market otherwise. And so P200 is really a nice place to go. Hey, did you manage to go to the NDI Q&A last week? was quite like this show, but more market driven. Really? I did not go to that show, and I didn't get to watch it yet. It is probably NDI.TV. It's probably on their channel, right? Live shows. Videos? No. Home? They don't have it on their YouTube page, so interesting. That's great though that they did more. Was it actually live Q&A or was it boxed Q&A? Like they gathered the questions and then they answered the ones they wanted to answer, or was it like back and forth? There are issues with multiple HX sources being in sync with each other, or does the protocol deal with that like with full NDI? So it depends, I guess. Like NDI doesn't have a sync option, you know, not like you're used to with like Genlock, like genuine Genlock SDI. But yeah, so it's like sync. You really do that post, like you do that in vMix, where you sync it all up with the audio. And I can show you the difference here too, because this is HX on P200, which is behind the P4K, but it's the same silicone process inside, right? So if we go to the full NDI camera, now we're lockstep, man. Like we're lined up, and then we go to HX, and now we're delayed. So it's just it's the nature of full and HX. If we recall, the way that it's pitched in the market is HX2 was kind of low latency, or high latency, low bandwidth. Full HX was low latency, high bandwidth, and HX3 is supposed to be the perfect mix of both. That's for you to decide. Okay. Oh, I didn't show you guys this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's do this real quick again. I realized I didn't even show this. I'm looking at it on the screen. Oh, this is HX2. Okay. And then if we go to HX, or if we go straight to full NDI, okay, we're locked in. So that's really convenient. And then if we go back to HX, we can definitely see the difference between the two. Now, it'll be the same process, like Silicone 2 will apply to all of our cameras eventually. And so you'll be able to see the difference, but you'll see the difference between full and HX, but if they're all running HX, they should all be running at the same, relatively the same. Because spoiler, it's our code inside of the camera, so they should all pretty much be the same code. And we're trying to do a unified firmware for it so that you can just use the same firmware across the fleet. But that is to be seen if that can be done. So that is the kind of the joys between those two versions. Yeah, sorry about that. You aren't screen sharing. Thanks, Tom. You're just doing funky dancing. I didn't miss much. It was a boxed presentation. That's a shame. Oh well. Not everybody enjoys doing this sort of stuff, right? So, fair enough. My reading of the New Tech University training was that NTP is used for sync between devices. Nope. It is not. That's why I was asking. Still learning. Yeah, there is no real true sync between it. I think, NDI Genlock is starting to answer that question. I don't know if it answers that question yet, but I think they're trying to figure out a way to do it. And I've used the Genlock option on these cameras. The cameras work just fine, but I don't have issue with them not being in sync. My network is pretty straightforward. The cameras are not dropping frames. It works really well across the fleet. I don't really have any issues there. So I'm not too sure what to say about that. the Genlock thing was working and it linked up to the cameras, but it didn't correct anything that wasn't already correct. So yeah, that's me too, man. I'm still learning as well, by the way. Okay, well, my son has gone for an hour and 40 minutes and more because he's been here for an extra 10. My son is here in the office with me today, in the studio. He's watching a show and spent the first 20 minutes giggling to himself over there in the corner because he was watching something funny on Netflix. So I am going to take him home now, and I'm going to work the rest of my day from home. But I wanted to come in, and I wanted to show you guys at least the latest update with Silicon 2 and show you things working. They did integrate, as we requested, they did integrate the actual URL right into the screen, into the dashboard. And so that was a request that we had made on this show a little while ago, actually. And if you recall, so when you change it from HX to SRT, and then the screen updates, you actually get to see the SRT stream. This was what I had requested. Hey, let's make this really easy for people. And they can, put a password on their camera or do whatever to lock this information up. But this is really cool because this is them actively listening to customers and to support and to people that are out in the field and saying, hey, make this accessible, make this really easy for people to use, and boom. When my QA guy Dave told me that, yep, we've implemented that, check it out. It's true. It's a real deal. Now, I'm having something going on my network where I can't actually see the SRT stream yet, but he will walk me through what I'm missing, I'm sure. So not to worry, and pretty exciting that sort of stuff is coming around. All right, guys, I am going to call it. It has been a fun Tuesday with you, and I will plan to be back on Thursday. Hopefully my son will be at school on Thursday, but I will plan to be back with you on Thursday, and we'll do something else that's fun to kind of walk through. Special shout out to Brayton for the coffee infused caramel cold brew M&Ms. They are delicious, and I highly recommend them. If you find them in the store when you're shopping on your next grocery trip or such, give them a go. They are Bird Dog approved. Oh, do I still have that over here? Brand overlays. They are Bird Dog John approved. Shout out to Balu for sending that over. So love that little snacks on stream. It's good stuff. And we'll be back on Thursday. So bring your NDI support questions. Be sure that you join us. What did you guys think of the audio today compared to the RE20? Would you prefer to have the microphone off camera? Honestly, now that I should tell you a little bit. So this weekend I was in Nashville, and I took my wife. We dropped our kids off in Ohio at their grandparents' home, and then we drove down to Nashville on Friday and Saturday morning. Saturday, my wife spent most of the day recording music with a group of folks that we know. And then Sunday, she helped lead worship at a church. And then on Sunday at like 11:30 Central Time, we got in the car and we drove all the way back, picked up the kids in Ohio, drove all the way back to Michigan. So we were home at midnight on Sunday, and that was a doozy. The kids were completely wiped out. My daughter has no recollection of me picking her up and picking her up out of the car and putting her in her bed, which is that's like a thing, right? That's part of everyone's childhood, is falling asleep in the car and waking up the next morning. So I felt like that's probably one of the first times that's ever happened. But anyways, we asked her yesterday, and she's like, "No, I don't remember." You didn't wonder how did I end up in my bed? But anyways, we had a good trip back, and lots of highway. I think it's like 6. How many miles is it? We're going from basically, we left from Auburn Hills. So my wife also works in Auburn Hills, but this is the place. This is the way. Wait, don't I have... The price is wrong, Bob. I thought I had this as the way. I definitely do, right? I've got too many sound effects. All right, I'm going to need a bigger stream deck because this one has too many pages where I have to, like, punch through. I do have This Is the Way somewhere. Peter, Inception, Violence. Nope. Same mistakes again. Serenity Down, Mando. That's the one I just pressed. Among Us, Price is Wrong. Vader's. Okay, so I don't know where it went. I thought I had that. I'm sure I do. That's annoying. Because I've played it here, right? Yeah, it's not on my list. That's weird. Okay, so let's just real quick find out the mileage. There it is. So we drove from her school to this specific address, and it was 584 miles one way. So 1,100 miles this weekend on my poor car, on one of my poor cars. Not on my truck. I didn't take the truck. My wife has an Explorer. So we took the Explorer, drove down there. Really, really nice drive, other than there's a lot of construction outside of Louisville, south of Louisville, going into, going into Louisville. But really nice drive. Beautiful country. And if you get a chance to do that, the 75, 71, 65 drive down to Nashville, it's worth it. But break it up. Do an extra day or so. So it was a good little trip. Also, I don't think he's on the show today, but I did drive right past Faith is the Victory Church, which is somebody was on there doing an install at that church last week. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm in Nashville. And I was like, oh, I'll be going by there this weekend. Well, I didn't realize that I would be going literally right by it. Like the highway goes like across its front lawn, and the building is right there. So, hey, if you were the guy doing that install, give us a little shout out. If not, I'm going to bring it up until you show up again. But really cool. Wish I could have stopped in and see you. We were on a really tight schedule to get down there. We had some recording time that we had to spend down there. And then we had a couple of meals with friends. But then, oh man, I'll save this story for Thursday. But I have a story to tell you guys about dinner that we had on Saturday at Tequila's Mexican Grill. And man, that is a night I will not forget anytime soon. So come back on Thursday to hear that story. Hey, what's going on, Judson? Hey, I'm just dropping in. I'm late. Oh, good. I'm wrapping up, just FYI, because my son is sitting right here, and he's 5, and is not going to sit for too much longer. So, you need Rogue. I don't know this one, but I will look this up for sound effects. I'll look it up for you. It saddens me that when people say that Adam Sandler makes bad movies. Who said he makes bad? Did I say that? Maybe I said that. Oh, The Price is Wrong, Bob. Yeah. I don't think he makes bad movies. I think he's a similar character in a lot of his movies, but I feel that way about a lot of actors. So that's not wrong. And I mean, Happy Gilmore. That's a unique movie, to say the least. So it's hard to. He was doing a lot of movies back then that were similar, but they're all his comedy style, right? So it's like Jim Carrey. He got typecasted for a long time, and he had to break out of that, which I think Adam Sandler has, but I don't even know why I'm going off on this. No, people on the internet say that. Oh, I see. I don't feel that way about Adam Sandler. I feel that way about Vince Vaughn, but we won't go into that right now because it is. I am officially past the time that I can spend on the show, but I do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It has been a blast to kind of fumble through Silicon 2. This is the working beta that we have going right now. If I get an update, we'll do it again. But yeah, it's good stuff. Hey, if you haven't done so already, go over to Bird Dog John, Jon, and click on the subscribe button, because that would help me out greatly. And this is the channel that all this support stuff happens on. So birddogjohn.tv. If you click on that and you follow that channel, or subscribe to it, or whatever, with your YouTube account, that would, help a lot. I think I've got before the show, I think it's 218 subscribers. Like that, That's amazing. That there's that many people that would want to click that button and be reminded of this show that often. So if I go over to Bird Dog John and actually click on my... Yeah, 218 subscribers. That's amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate that. We are trying to build up the channel a little bit. You may have noticed that last time I did a studio tour and I cut that and put it on as a video. I'm going to start doing that a little bit more, like doing little segments in the show and then cutting that piece and throwing it up there as a resource for you. So if you missed something and I covered something specific that day, hopefully I'll do that. Today, SIL2, I mean, we kind of fumbled through it. I may throw it up there, but I may we did kind of fumble through that, and so we'll see how that goes. But today's live support show is about SIL2. I've also gotten into the habit of trying to make better thumbnails, or at least different thumbnails, so they may not be better. But instead of showing, if you click on the live screen of my show, they all just say live stream with Bird Dog John coming up. And so I want to change it up a little bit and put like what it is that I plan to talk about, put that in the title so that you guys know what's going on, especially post-show. If you're like, oh, what did he talk about? And it's just some generic thing, then yeah, that's not helpful. So, hey, this is Judson. I just subbed. Boom. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. 219. It updated on the website too. So real time. You're not joking. So you left here and then you came back here. So appreciate that, man. Okay, I am leaving this time. I promise. So let's do a quick little outro and take care of yourselves, guys. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. It has been really fun to chat with you, and I hope you have a great week. We'll see you closer to the end. Everybody hold their breath because the Toronto Maple Leafs are potentially playing their last game of the season on Wednesday. If they lose it, we're done. It's been a rough series. The second rounders for us, Florida has just destroyed us. So I might be very sad on Thursday morning, but hopefully not. Hopefully I'll have something good to report. Some life will be... Somehow they'll figure out how to play against the Panthers. That's a weird phrase to say. But anyway. All the best, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you soon. And take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we'll see you in a couple days. Bye, guys.